My opponent for this game is once again going to be Deathrow, 1567 with 213 wins and 116 losses. Hello everybody, PsyStarcraft here with another StarCraft 2 commentary. This is going to be game number 3 between myself and Deathrow, the Terran you saw from my last game. I only casted our second game. The first game he actually beat me, or actually that was the third game. So I've casted games 3, this is game number 2, and he beat me game 1. If you haven't seen 3, go see it. But we have another match coming up here on Scrap Station. A pretty good map for Zerg players, just because the long distance allows you to, really utilize that link speed, that muta speed, the mobility of the Zerg. However, Terran mech can be very strong if they're able to break through these rocks, and there's a short travel distance once they do that. So Terran is by no means at a disadvantage in this map. I'd say it's just very even, and it's a rare occasion that Zerg players actually have a map that works in their advantage. So before I get too far underway in this game, I just want to give a huge ass shout out to Husky. A couple days ago he gave me a fatty shout out, and my sub count just like soared above anything I've ever seen in just a couple of days. And yeah, we are both members of the game station, so it's kind of something we have to do, but it's something I also want to do just because I've gotten to know Husky a little bit. We're pretty good friends, and he's a really nice guy. Like, what you see in the commentaries, that's only half of it, how funny he is, that sort of stuff. He's a really nice guy, so check out his channel. I'm pretty sure there's only like 5 or 10 people here who aren't subbed to him already, but if you haven't, go ahead, check out his page if you like it, give him a sub, and I just want to return the favor as much as I can because he's really helped me out in getting into the StarCraft 2 scene. So I've got the link in the underbar to his channel, and also of course the game station being released on September 20th if you did not see that video. Also good news right there. So yeah, enough of the ass kissing to ass kicking. Now here we go. Marine coming out from Deathrow, no tech lab on there. Reapers, man, 5 racks Reapers on Scrap Station is so bad. There's like nothing you can do with them. This tiny little area right here is like the only way you can jump up into the enemy's base. You can just like stick an overload right here and prevent any Reapers from coming around to the expansion. Just not a good choice to use on this map. And you'll notice he is getting a tech lab and another barracks, so he might be going with that Reaper play. I actually played this game a couple days ago, throwing down a barracks or a bunker up there. And my build, if you guys were wondering, this game was actually a 15 pool, 16 hatch with a pretty late gas. It's a build I've been trying against a new Terran build, which has been really heavy in the early Hellions and then just basically pure mech with a lot of Thors. And I think it works pretty well. I have yet to perfect it, but it looks like he is going to be able to sneak a Marine into this bunker and shoot away at this hatchery. But man, I don't like this decision by Deathrow just because it takes so long for your Marine to run all the way around up here and into that bunker. It's just really hard to even fill this bunker up with more than one unit. And this was without me even scouting this bunker. He's able to do this, but that's not going to be a problem. I'm starting to mass up some Zerglings, so if nothing else, this bunker play is going to allow him to reduce the number of drones I'm able to train. Immediately after that hatchery finished, I did start a queen at each of my hatcheries. Notice he's got a nice little position here, blocked out by the gas and by the mineral patch, so I had to manually tell my Zerglings to run around and go kill this SCV, being very, very annoying. He's actually focus firing my queen. A trick you can use against Terran players who have a bunker with a Reaper or a Marine in it is send... oh, 2 in 1. That is a double whammy. Thanks, guys. As I was saying, you can run your queen in first to bait the damage, especially if it's a Reaper, and then you can run your Zerglings in next, and it works pretty well as long as your opponent doesn't select the bunker and try to focus fire down any of your Zerglings. So I'm not too sure about this. Yeah, it looks like he is going 5 racks Reaper play. I didn't really remember that. And if we look at my Overlord placement, well, let's just watch a couple of Lings get chewed up first. A little bit late on the metabolic boost. That's one of the downsides to getting that 15 or 14 pool as well as the 16 gas. Am I going to be able to cancel this spine crawler? He focuses it a couple times, but it looks like he does kill a drone as well, but it's going to be just fine. Oh, this Reaper's actually getting trapped, and this guy just gets picked off. Like I said, just terrible to play Reapers on here. Like, if you come around here, you've got to run all the way back through here, back through everything to get out of there. And as I was saying, Overlord placement on this map, very critical. perfect placement right here. You can just easily float in for a sacrificial overlord, but I haven't done that just yet. I did see that second barracks, however. Another great spot is right here. See any incoming forces this way. Be careful against a Terran player, though. They can't just walk a Marine up here and kill it. Cool thing is, if they walk a Marine up here and try to kill it, you can just like run away this way or just run away down. So they kind of have to pincer your overlord up there. And also another good spot is right around here. Block out the expansion. Of course, right here to keep an eye on the destructible rocks. And finally, anywhere in the airspace between the two bases, because Banshee play is very popular. TLO loves going Banshees on this map. So, yeah, just a couple ideas for some Overlord spots. I do have some roaches. Nice scan there. I like how he used that scan to pick off that creep tumor. Preventing my roach effectiveness, allowing him to micro his Reapers a little bit better. Pretty good saturation, 31 to 25. Usually around this point in the game, the incomes are fairly even. But I am able to pull ahead. Do I have my lair? Yeah, I've got my lair up. Probably going to be saving for my roach speed. I think those gases came a little bit too slow. By the time you hit a lair, when you use this build that I'm using, it's probably good to have 2 gases just because you want to be able to fund roaches and your roach speed. Finally, I am now running off 3 gases, so I'm looking pretty good at this point, not taking too much damage from this high number of Reapers. I have an Overlord up here to spot any Reapers jumping up as well. Nice little split here, some roaches over here, some roaches over here, and a lot of Zerglings. I'm not sure what led me to train these Zerglings. I think I was a little bit high on minerals or something. Oh, that is just painful to see. Never want to run, really, you never want to run any number of Zerglings against a Reaper force of this size. You'd have to have like 40 Zerglings or more to even stand a chance against this. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, roach speed coming up, Spire coming up as well. Deathrow, of course, preparing that expansion with that 5 racks Reaper play. It looks like he just went for a 3 racks Reaper play, so that's kind of clever. With that 3 racks Reaper play, you're going to have a lot of excess minerals, and that's what allows the Terran to expand so easily and immediately throwing down those 2 gases too. Still just kind of bumping around with these Reapers. He maybe killed a couple, whoopsie. He maybe killed a couple of drones at the natural expansion, but other than that, they haven't really done much except, you know, waste a lot of gas that he could have been spending on mech or Marauders, which we are seeing here. So this is kind of a modified 5 racks build. It's a 3 racks factory build. He is getting engineering bay and an armory. And it's gonna, you know, he's not gonna be able to get as many Reapers, and you're not necessarily gonna see that follow up with the Marauders, especially on Scrap Station. But I think it's a little bit more economical. Now if we look at the income tab, 40 to 38, so he is closing in a little bit, but still not too bad. Now at this point in the game though, if a Zerg player doesn't take a 3rd base, he's just going to get overrun because Zerg units just aren't very cost effective until they hit tier 3. And once he gets a nice little ball of Marines and Marauders, probably some tanks as well. Are we going to see any siege tech? Not seeing much out of the factories right now, but once he starts getting all those units, he's just going to, you know, destroy any equal army that I have, unfortunately. Now at 44 workers. Look at the production tab. Now I'm just busting out the Mutalisks. And I've got 1 attack upgrading. There's that Baneling's dealio. I did run in here with my Overlord, so I know kind of the composition I'm going to need to get. It's looking like a typical Muta Baneling build that I'm going to need. And something I haven't been doing in a lot of my latest games is getting just 1 or 2 infestors in the mix of my Mutas. And it's something that's just so damn effective that I need to start doing. I don't know why I don't do it. I think I feel like at this point in the game, getting that infestation pit, using up another drone, spending that gas and that minerals is just like so crucial. Like I'll just take a big hit on my unit count if I do that, even though it's really quite small. It just has to do with inexperience, I suppose. I need to play a little bit more. But yeah, look at that. Those Reapers are now dead. They didn't do anything all game except waste a little bit of money. And I'm kind of testing the water here, pushing out with my Roaches, with my Mutalisks. If we look at production, I'm getting a lot more Roaches. Need to dump those minerals. I was just going crazy on the minerals. Where is my 3rd man? Oh, there it is. Ghost Hatchery. Ghost Hatchery. I'm going to haunt you. Anyway, yes, I think I did pick off a tank right there while I was busy with the Ghost Hatchery, trying to be funny. Unfortunately, not working too well. Sensor tower up here was destroyed, so I've got a nice little contain right here. It looks like he's a bit hesitant to move out, and I think that's because his Marines are a little bit sparse. Yes, he only has 4 Marines in the bunker, 4 more right there. He has how many total? 10 Marines total against 8 Mutas, so I like those odds. A lot of Roaches supporting those Mutas as well. Now taking my 3rd expansion here. Seeing this match, man, seeing how different this match is compared to that Steps of War one last game, it really leads me to believe that like the maps in StarCraft 2 just are not good for Zerg. Almost none of the maps are good for Zerg. Because in Brood War, the maps were like huge, the travel distances were like insanely long. You'd almost always see a lot of pretty sick long macro games. But in StarCraft 2, not so much. You know, it's like Terran move out and push almost at the same time every match, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Able to pick off a tank, not doing quite as much meter harass as I'd like to, but look at this nice turret placement. The only empty spot he might have is around right here, but he's even got one on the western side of his main base protecting his buildings everywhere in his expansion. So he is just like saturating, like how Zerg want to saturate minerals with drones is how this guy is saturating his base with missile turrets. That's how ridiculous Terran are at getting minerals. Overlords want to be a part of the action, but they're not even pooping creep right now. Muta's just kind of chilling down here. I did scout out a little bit for some bases. There's no way he has a high yield though. You like don't even have to check that. There's no way a Terran player is even going to try that. Nicely scanned though. Very nice scan on my units. Just still have roaches and mutas. I still want to see those banelings. Where are you, banelings? Production tab. Infestation pit. There's the infestation pit. A little bit slow on the infestation bit. I should just like run a bunch of overlords around here, just like patrol them, just to scare him and his stupid little censored queerer. Oh, I'm gonna have to censor that because people are gonna get offended. So we've got a nice little army here. Some marines, some tanks, and some marauders. Still extremely light on the anti-air. I'd like to see a Thor out of there. Speak of the devil, we are seeing a Thor and another tank. Sending mutas in just to try to see what he's gonna do. I want to like bait him. Is he gonna run away? Is he gonna like move in? Oh, here we go. Roaches coming in. They are bird. They're going to go under the tanks. Okay. I need to say something. Lots of roaches. Lots of marauders, though, and tanks, which are very good against roaches. Would you guys unburrow on top of the tanks? Or would you guys unburrow on top of the marines? Now, when I was doing this, I was like, okay, I'm going to unburrow on the tanks because then, you know, they can't siege and do tons of damage to me. But on second thought, I think I would have rather unburrowed on the marines, killed off the marines, and just like, my mutas would kill everything. Even if my roaches ended up dying to the tanks and marauders, my roaches would just, or my mutas would kill everything. I do unburrow on the tanks, and again, I think that was a mistake. Look at these mutas just getting chewed up. Those tanks aren't doing anything anyway. They're actually focusing down those rocks after I did that. Oh, wait. Oh, I have to show you this as well. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Watch what these roaches are doing. They're running up. They're not attacking. I right-clicked on the destructible rocks. I selected my roaches. I hit A, and I clicked over here. I'm going to attack past these guys and kill them all, and I accidentally clicked on the destructible rocks. So many roaches dying without doing anything. Hence the raffle. Yes, you did see me raffle mid-game. This was actually a custom match, so it's not like a hardcore do-or-die game. It was a pretty friendly game. But man, that was just a huge mistake. Should have unburrowed on the marines, and I should have not clicked on the destructible rocks. That was really stupid. But I am doing pretty good macro-wise. I'm getting that single infestor, nice saturation there. I'm beating a Terran in production here, so that's always nice. Immediately after getting my third, I did drop down those 2 gases. Am I getting a hive? Yes, I'm getting a hive. Upgrades are a little bit sluggish. Oh, I've got another nice little burrow here. Unburrowing on top of the marauders. Now, marauders are a good counter for roaches, but if your roaches unburrow on top of marauders, they are going to do swimmingly well. Well, not swimmingly well, just swimmingly. Minus the well part. So yeah, able to macro up very hard after that middle battle. Hit a lot of roaches reinforcing, and look at my money doing never mind. I was going to say I was doing a very good job, but could be spending a little bit better. Zerg always have a hard time spending their minerals, but I am expanding. That's good. Should probably break down these rocks pretty soon and expand up here, and perhaps place an auxiliary hatchery. I've been watching a lot of the GSL, and a lot of the good Zerg players, they'll just like stick down a hatchery here or stick down a hatchery here just for the extra production of, you know, Zerglings, roaches, whatever you might need. There's that infestor. So yeah, I guess I did take my own advice and get that extra infestor this game. 1 or 2 infestors, always nice to mix in with any Zerg army. 2 engineering bays, I love it, love it. Just now getting the infantry upgrade. I mean, I'm not a Terran player, so I don't know the timings or anything, but upgrades are so good, man. Especially on infantry when they're so powerful and you can just use them the entire game. They're just so powerful, you should be getting those sooner. Pooping! Pooping. Not pooping. Pooping. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that awesome? Like this stupid little balloon piece of crap. This guy's gonna like lick the screen in a second. He just prevented a Terran player from expanding single-handedly. How cool is that? Keep an eye down here. He's gonna be licking the screen in a second. He's eyeing you. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I am way too mature for that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna stare you down. I'm gonna stare you down. Yeah. In case you guys haven't seen that, that's pretty awesome. Alright, that was the best tangent I've ever had. Greater Spire going down. Another self-critique here. Greater Spire or an Ultralisk Cavern. Obviously you have to get one of them, otherwise going Hive is wasteful. Now, why are Greater Spires good? Because nothing on the ground can beat them at all. I don't care what race you are. Blinkstalkers, okay, Blinkstalkers do okay. But anything else on the ground, no, not going to do squat. But in the air, Vikings are so good against Broodlords. They're way better against Broodlords than Void Rays are, than Phoenix are, than Carriers are. Carriers just aren't realistic. So the problem with Broodlords is Terran have a cheap response in Vikings. Now we are seeing a Viking training here. I don't think he has any others, so he might have scanned me. 2 Infestors, awesome, awesome, awesome. Mixing those in with my Broodlords, with my Lings, and these Roaches are taking down the rocks. So Broodlords are nice if you can catch your opponent off guard before he's able to get a lot of Vikings, which it looks like I was able to do. I just can't wait too long. But in the end, it seems like Ultras are almost always a better choice against Terran. But these Marauders, man, these Marauders, this Thor, they're just scary. Some players will even get the 250mm strike cannons and make it even more difficult for your life. Make your life even more difficult, rather. But getting a lot of Broodlords. One thing to note, if you are going to go the Broodlord route, make sure you train your Corruptors to be ready to mutate before your Greater Spire is finished. That's going to save you a lot of time. And look at that money, man. So many minerals. He actually did a drop down here. Sorry about that. I missed that, you guys. You know, it's funny because I actually missed this in the game, too. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like he just went straight for the drop. Just, you know, stuck his units in there. He's going to kill that off. Let me speed it up a little bit. So he's killing that base, but I'm still okay. I'm running off 3 bases. I'm a little bit low on gas. He's only running off 2 bases. I do have every base scouted except for this one, but he's choosing not to take that one at this point. Overlord's congregating in the middle, just kind of talking about religion and stuff like that. And now these medevacs are just going to run away and, you know, just maybe go around the map, look for expansions, and try to kill something else. But I am moving out here. Roaches, Mutas, Infestors, what else? Zerglings and Broodlords. Oh, I have 8 Broodlords. That is just so sexy. He's gonna need so many Vikings. Even if he had like 8 Vikings right now. Oh, I might be able to catch these. Oh, that is pro. Fungal growth. Oh baby. Oh baby. 138 to 199. Now it's his turn to LOL. Probably could have done a lot of damage even without that fungal growth, but that was kind of a game changer, combo breaker. That was a combo breaker right now, and even with those units in there, I don't think he had enough to deal with this. Another beautiful fungal growth, just stopping all those. Lings eating up a lot of damage. He doesn't have any Hellions or any tanks, so these Lings are actually doing a great job of soaking up damage. And even with that extra medevacs and those Marines on the ground, he just didn't produce enough Vikings, didn't respond to my Broodlords very well. And in part, that was because he was almost mined out here. He was mined out as main. And this Overlord right here that was pooping, that's the MVP right there. That's why I won the game. But I hope you guys learned a little bit from this game. Broodlords is not always a good idea unless your opponent is just completely not ready to get Vikings. And always mix in 1 or 2 Infestors, Unburrow on the Marines, kill those and let your Mutas have at it. Expand if you have 4,000 minerals. I should have taken this, maybe even invested in that, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for being my giblet.